Hello, so we're going to sew a straight line on a very basic machine here today, similar to my brother, which is another very basic machine. So what we're going to do is lock our stitches. We need to lock our stitches because that prevents our sewing from unraveling. So let's center you there so you can see what I'm about to do. And if I just sew a straight line, now I'm going to keep my fabric on that edge of the fabric, this edge of the fabric along my seam allowance. So you can see on your machine, you've got all these lines. If I focus this line on one of the seam allowances, I will get a nice straight line. The other thing I could do, if I was a bit nervous, is just draw with a pen or with a washable pen, just to practice. It doesn't matter, just practice on a scrap piece of paper like fabric like I am, and you can just draw yourself a straight line along there, or eyeball this along the seam allowance on your machine there. So let's do this. So we're going to just sew a straight line. Now I'm going to keep my fabric inside, can you see at the top there, inside that oval, and that's going to be the start of my sewing line. I'm not going to lock it. I want to show you the difference it will make. So keeping that fabric there along that seam allowance will give me a lovely straight line. Okay, remember I want my hook up at the top there. Let me just show you again. So this thread take up lever, I want that up at the top, and again that just tells me the machine has finished forming a stitch. When that's at the top, I can lift my presser foot and easily release my fabric. If you don't have that presser foot at the top, you will find that you will be fighting to pull this fabric out. Now I've not locked it, the threads on either side, and the reason you will is because, can you see here, if I start just gently, and I'm not doing it too hard, if I gently just pull these apart, you'll see my thread starts coming undone. Okay, and that will not be good on a project. So if I hadn't locked my stitches there, for example, my tape measure would be falling out because that would then become undone. Okay. So the way we're going to lock our stitches, so good habits, let's cut these threads away. What we'll do is we'll start with our fabric in the oval. So let's get you centered there so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to use on my machine, this is my reverse button here. And on your brother machine, it's this one here under the stitch selector. So let's go back to my sewing. So we're going to go forward, and we work our way forward only between 3 and 5 stitches. That's what I tell my students. So that was 3, 4, and we'll just stick with that. Press the reverse button, go back to the beginning, take your time. Okay, needle is in, and I'm going to now carry on my line of sewing. So I'm keeping that straight, so I'm eyeballing that on the edge of that screw there, and I'm going to come to the end, stop at the edge of the fabric, reverse, and that was 5 stitches there, and carry on 5 stitches. Bring the hook back to the top, so that's my thread take up lever, back to the top, and then I can release my fabric easily. Tear that away, and there, and you can see there the difference you've made on the edge. So if I just cut those threads away, and when I pull at the end there, you can see my sewing won't come undone. Okay, so that's the other end. If I go back to the first line, and if I just pull that apart, you will see that I can start seeing the ends of the seam. So when that goes in the washing machine, or it's played with, or used, if it's a bag or a product, it will start unraveling. So you need to make sure you lock your stitches. Okay,